Okay, another project here. It's an Evo Sportster crank. 90s as I recall, some year 90s. So anyway, got to rebuild the rod set and replace the bearing race on this because it's bad. And I think we were supposed to redo the Timken bearing too, but I don't remember. So anyway. And this is all I got for bearings. I got a couple brass washers and 2 cages out of 3. So we're missing some parts here. So we'll make it work. We got 2 bearings. Okay, we'll go a long ways. We got 2 roller bearings, so that's nice. Guess that's all we need. Cage is all torn up, worn out. Supposed to be thick like that, not real thin like this. So this one's junk, which is already expected. That's why the bearings aren't in there probably. So that's bad. These here, I don't know why they took these out. They're good. Got a little bit of groove on this one. There's nothing wrong with this one, so I'm not sure what he's doing here. So I just flip it over and put it back in. It'll be fine. Okay, so we're gonna knock off this nut on the end here. Get going. So I got a brand new main bearing assembly here, Harley. So this gives us the bearing that goes in the case and the new inner race here, which we have to put on the flywheel. So we get all that to do. So we gotta get this off of here also, which would be fun. And we also gotta pull a Timken bearing off of here if we can, so it'll be even more fun. All right. Okay, lock tab is done. Let's see, it's not 7/8, it must be 1 inch. Most nuts in a Harley are 7/8 or 1 inch. In this case, it's 15/16. Yep, see, sportsters always have to be different. See. This is a standard thread. Doesn't seem to have much torque on that. Usually lock tabs fall off, not have to beat off. Kind of pretty good. Gonna work around the circle. So that wheel collapsed in there from being used more than once. So that was probably bad. Hopefully I got another one. This is all one piece here. You look at the teeth and make sure they're not worn too much. This appears to be pretty good. If you look really close at the tooth pattern, you can see it's got just a little bit of wear right in the middle. And you still got the ground surface on the sides. That means there's not a lot of mileage on it. Or at least there's not much wear on it. It's good. You want to make sure these are not worn away on the sides. So if it's a nice straight edge all the way around like that and wide, it's not worn. When it gets knife edge, it's worn. So that's the best way to tell, just look on the flat of the teeth. That one obviously looks good. Okay, so now I got to get that off somehow. Get that off, and we got to pull the flywheel apart. Not very tight. So usually I replace crank pins all the time. I don't usually reuse them. Now we'll see what this one looks like. Make sure there's no pitting on it, no wear we can see, no rusted etching or rust marks. This one appears to be pretty good. I don't see anything really wrong with it. So we can reuse it. We'll measure to make sure it's round. If it's measured round, we can use it. Okay, now we're gonna get this race off of here. That can be interesting to do. So we're gonna use our big tool up here on the wall that nobody likes me using. Maybe this one up here. Even higher up. Way up there. Yeah, that thing. Clamshell puller with sharp edges in here, so it digs on the back side of the race and pulls it up. If it'll fit in here. Don't think it's going to fit. Nope. Too big. It gets underneath one side but not the other. Flywheels are too small in diameter. This one works. It's the same problem probably. This one just catches on the roller, but not where you're supposed to catch, but gets on the cage. It's caught on the bottom of the cage, not underneath the actual bearing. So if we're lucky, it'll pull it up. So we'll see. Either way, it'll be destroyed. It has to come off. It's a tool I use for big twins, not sportsters, so everything's a little bit too small. Okay, let's see if this will come up. It came off. So I've got it on the cage, pull up on it. Doesn't look like it damaged the cage. It's still usable. Just for replacing it. Okay, that one's off. That was the easy one. Okay, so this all has to be cleaned up and then we can put a new one on there. Okay, this one here. I figure we can get this thing off of here. So I got my small clamshaft holder. Let's see if I can get this one to work. The only problem, this isn't made to take a lot of load like this. Is probably going to be under pretty tight. Let's see if we can get it off though. Okay, this one's small enough to get underneath the flywheel. Just get up under there. The other one was too big to fit down in the hollow of the flywheel. It was just too damn big. So you have to use a smaller puller. Okay, now we got to pull this thing up. So we need a couple real long bolts. You have to support the end of the shaft so you don't damage the shaft. So this will protect the end of the shaft. It goes centers off the shaft and it protects it as a heat treated. So you gotta have that on the shaft or you're gonna damage that shaft. Alright, now can I get under here with my regular puller? So here's my regular puller. I don't know if that'll fit under there. Not really. Some deeper jaws. Yep, about a ½ inch short. So that's not going to work. Let's have some longer arms, which I don't have here. Alright. So that means we use a harmonic balancer puller with a couple long bolts. Come up that direction. That'll probably be our best option. That's probably not here. Alright, so that uses a tool like this. Protecting your shaft. Goes on into that. Now you a couple of real long bolts here to go right here to pull up with. So I have to go find me some long ass bolts. They're not very big bolts, so that's kind of weak. And it's kind of a lightweight tool. I might have a little bit stronger one than this. But we'll see. I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Finally found two bolts I had pre-set out. They were long. These are longer than anything else I had. So these are my two different pullers. So this has a bigger, they both have about the same lead screw in them. This one has a smaller center than this one. Doesn't really matter which one I use. This one should be a little bit stronger. It's probably a little weaker through here than this other one. This one is a lot stronger. This is probably American made. This is probably import crap. So we'll see how this one works. Hopefully we got enough room for doing this. Yes, we do. Well, I guess as I've done this before, that's why we have these long bolts here. Okay, you want to make sure everything's in there square and straight. Looks like we're pretty close. Okay, let's see what happens here. Not moving. Oh, it moved. That didn't want to come, but it did. So it was on there pretty good. That's where it was bad, see? No shaft damage, that's a plus. Definitely a plus. Alright. That is horrible. Into the shaft here. Got a lot of really nasty looking end on that. We can hone that, make it look better. Okay, jeez. See, American made tools live, even though you overload them. See, OTC, good crap. Even though we abused the hell out of it, it still worked. Okay. Okay, so now we need to hone this shaft here to make it round, clean it up, make it not tear up the bushing that was in. So we can use our external hone for that. And I'll just do it right here. I gotta do it by hand anyway, so we just gotta go over here and grab the hone. So these ones over here. These use the small one right here. That's the one I use. Preset. A little oil. We're good to go. So this is pretty rough. Hear it? So a little bit of hone job on there. It'll smooth it up, make it round, straighten it up a little bit. High-speed hone. Try to slide it out a little bit so you get a different area to put marks on. Scoot it back in a little bit. Flip it around the other side. Keeps things round, straight, not tapered. Hard on my finger. All right. Clean it all up. And now it looks like new. Oop, dang it. All those gouge marks are gone. Smoothed up quite a bit. Definitely a lot smoother and straighter. So now it looks like brand new again. It's just a little bit smaller, but not too much smaller. This doesn't take off very much metal. It might take off a thou at most. Okay, so that part's done. Okay, now we got to go clean all these parts up, and then we're going to put new washers in here, or put the old washers back in, depending on what we come up with. Maybe I'll put a new one in there on that one. I don't know why you pull this one out. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, this one's no wear on this one. Okay, I'm going to go clean all this stuff up. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. So, this is the old washer, which is still good. These are the new ones here. And these will be new ones. Yeah, same size. Imagine that. Okay, that'll fix the one. So you just peen them in. First thing I do is file the burrs off that they put on taking it out for whatever reason. All right. Put the good side up. That should go in there and put it in. A little sleeve retainer Loctite on it. Give it some extra holding power. This tool holds it all together. Got to use a sportster crank pin because it's short. guess sportster pin doesn't work. Use our big twin pin. Yeah, it fits now. So it sheared off a piece of it going in. It's in there though. Okay, now we peen it in. Our peening tool. See if it works on a Sportsters. Looks like it'll work. 2 hits. Okay, that's 6 peen marks. So now it's peened in there. And it's Loctited. Now if you want to put more peen marks in there you can. It's up to you. That should be adequate. So then you wipe off the extra Loctite that's on there. That's not needed. And that'll set up and steal in there even better. Here's how you do it. Some people ask where I got the tool from. I don't remember. I think I got it from Chrome Specialties. They haven't been around since like 03, so probably not available anymore. But I can make it if I had to. Now, Big Twin and Sportster have the same tapers on the later cranks. And I'm not really using it that much pressure on it, so it doesn't matter which crank you're going to use. Okay, so now you got to clean this up a little bit. This has those machine marks in it. Smear a nice layer in there like that. Hit the camera stand. Okay, now the new washer has a bevel on the one side and a sharp edge on the other. We're going to leave the sharp edge up. That way it'll pop in easier. So easy it went in. The other one didn't want to go in. Okay. So just do the same thing we just did. And we do the same peening job again. I think I got them all. Yep. 6 new marks, evenly spaced. Okay. This one didn't have all so much Loctite popping out. Okay, so that's how you get that done. We're one step closer. That's what it looks like assembled. Okay, so that's ready to go back together on that side. All right. Okay, get all this cleaned up. Be back in a minute.